Welcome to Illust. We're an interactive map company powered by the blockchain and augmented reality. My name is Rob McCarty. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Illust.
My name is Tim Project, and I am the CCO and the other co-founder.
We get asked a lot, what's the formation story of Illust?
And honestly, it's not as boring as that could be.
I come from the immersive technology space. I got brought on to help Facebook launch Spark AR in 2019 at South by. That experience really taught me a lot about the power of location-based experiences. I worked with 3D artists, motion designers, and street artists to come up with augmentations on a 4,200 square foot wall at South by Southwest, and really saw the power of immersion that can happen just a cell phone.
My background's basically advertising, agency land, experiential to motion to interactive. Worked on everything from like data visualization for the UN to Paul McCartney's visuals to drink activations. Well, just before meeting Rob, in fact, moved out to LA to get closer to the AR ecosystem.
So it's 4th of July. One of my friends was kind of talking shit off the roof at his neighbor, which was Tim.
I was sitting out in my garden with a few friends, and then there was a guy on a balcony opposite me, started randomly shouting in a kind of polite way, but I sort of gave a kind of British retort to him.
He started to feel bad, so he actually asked us, should we invite this guy up? And we're like, yeah, absolutely, bring him up. Sure enough, I was talking to Tim, and we had a lot of mutual friends in the space and had some of the same ideas about where things were going.
We had a great conversation, and I think a couple of weeks later, I sort of paddled out just for a surf, and then suddenly I saw this massive Viking redbeard dude paddling out towards me. I was like, oh, there's Rob.
We started to talk about just kind of the bigger ideas, kind of extending that conversation we had on 4th of July.
We basically got to the bottom of what we saw as the crashing wave of persistence with AR and the problems, because as it stood, we had these amazing creative people making content for Facebook and Snap, and then if you read the fine details, they didn't own it anymore.
Tim kind of had this idea of what if we had the digital assets we're building on behalf of these partners, what if all those went on chain? And we viewed the actual provenance of these digital assets. I was really excited about it. It just made sense. Yeah, we actually started an agency from that point. We had a lot of relationships in music and the brand side, so we're able to make some initial income from agency work, but we funneled that all into building the business, building the technology, and putting these digital graphics on the blockchain before it was called NFTs.
Yeah, we were basically bootstrapping a notion. This is pre-Web3, pre all those things. We just thought provenance was important, the immutable ledger was important, and then, what was it, like a year into the agency? Suddenly the NFT explosion happened.
It all kind of came to a head. One of our partners were pretty keen to take what we had created and then also put it on the chain, and just kind of coincided with the fact that we were launching via technology, and that partner was MF Doom.
The most dreaded costume on the face of the earth.
Metal mask with gasoline, they after him. Last seen pulling a chick like a fiend, pull a fast one.
We were really lucky to be able to be part of that. He was the first one to put an augmented reality asset on the chain. We had just launched the tech platform, and that really jump-started Illust as you kind of imagine it today, which is geospatial content, augmented reality powered by the blockchain.
I mean, in many ways, MF Doom is the patron saint of our company.
Sure.
He represents all that we aspire to, and it was an absolute honor to be able to work with him. And obviously, like all of Doom's stuff, it was maybe not the most loud drop in the world, but the influence was there, and it was groundbreaking, and it was the first NFT of its kind.
It really opened us up to a lot of things that we didn't anticipate. I think one of which was the immediate request from the collectors to be able to start to move these into the world.
It made sense. We started to anchor things into the world, and then started to build maps so you could discover those things. That led us sort of down to the place where we pretty much are now, where we were like, well, these layers, this digital space that is emergent is surely the best metaverse, because we already have the operating system, and it gets rid of scarcity because you can have as many digital layers as you like, and you can also get to places you would never get to. You know, you can take over Times Square if you want.
Yeah, we did that. The world's first traveling AR NFT exhibition, Ghosting, which went from Berlin up to London and took over New York and then out to LA. So we got to explore the idea of taking these different digital assets and what's the story that same digital asset tells when it's in a different location. And then also the Acropolis NFTs during Max's show.
Max there is Max Cooper, who has been like part of Illust for the beginning, bless him. He's held on and he's experimented with us. Like all of his art, he is at the edge of what is possible. And so again, that's informed a lot of the decisions we made, what can actually be done in terms of exchange and reactivity and programming languages and types of models. We want anybody to be able to do anything with the lowest possible entry, which means a browser, to bridge that gap between 2D JPEGs to something that actually exists in the world and responds to the world. We early on created Wallet to World, which was a way for anybody who has any NFT to be able to put it in AR space and anchor it to their map.
Proof of presence network, where you're able to define through an NFT proof that you were at a certain place in a certain time, which we have some really big plans for, and then a whole suite of publishing tools.
Ever expanding, ever changing because of the nature of AR.
Right.
And then of course there's the GSR, which is our sort of spatial chain, basically, for want of a better word, which allows all of this to be referenced, all of this to be a subgraph that anyone can build upon.
Yeah, and there's so many different cohorts and communities that we're just starting to activate as well. Some folks are coming out of the woodwork where we're like, we did not think that people would be using our tool in this way.
We're honestly forging new ground, and we're seeing things that I certainly couldn't imagine, which I think is one of the measures of whether we're doing the right thing on the platform, is whether people come to us with ideas we couldn't possibly think of.
We're really excited to kind of kick off this next chapter in the business and really appreciate you all being along for the ride and looking forward to the years to come.
Yeah, so surfing plus metaverse plus the fear that everything's going to go terribly wrong equals Illust.
You nailed it.
That bit.